It's official. Weymouth Wales Football Club can do no wrong this season. Hello and welcome to your monthly edition of Matchday Live from the 246. I'm your host, Damien Best. As usual, we've got a good panel on hand to dissect what has transpired over the last 24 hours. We've heard of the success of Weymouth Wales. We're going to break it all down. We've got, of course, Trevor Thorne, former UK and Barbados striker, now administrator and commentator and statsman. Ronaldo Pee Wee Jilts, technical director of Kickstart Rush Football Club and national team coach for the Barbados under-15 squad, and the good fellow, and Margaret Rich Boyce, who is the BFA communications officer, joins us in the nick of time. I say injury time because he just logged in. Hello, welcome, Anmar, the rest of the cast. Of course, Weymouth Wales versus Ellerton for the Champions Cup. How did it go down? We have some highlights for you.
Appleby, Drakes still has it into the box. Can he deliver something of quality? A Primus comes. It's an open ball. The shot comes in. Still have it. Clark. Ball on the far side. This could be dangerous. Ball is into the box. Shoved away. It's a penalty. Shaquille Stewart, and he's brought down by Raffit. You cannot believe it. Shaquille Boy stands over the penalty for Wales. It's a big chance in the game. Boyce scores for Wales! Wales take the lead on the night. Shaquille Boyce is the man. He's the man for the moment. Runs all the way to the fans. And Weymouth Wales lead Ellerton. The referee has a look at his watch. The whistle is in his hand. And that's the final whistle. Weymouth Wales have done it. Wales have done it again.
The goalkeeper tried again when he being a score previous penalty on him in the finals before. But he telling me that if they need senior corner, I tell you yeah. But really actually that's my preferred corner there. More than one person wanted to take it, but being I scored the last one, I told him yeah, I good. I'm confident for the same.
Thousands of fans there at the Wildy Turf. We have to pay kudos as well to the coach Carlos Jackman. Let's hear from the man, the maestro who made it all happen this season for Weymouth Wales.
We have more quality than Ellerton, you could say so without any contradiction. The guys went out there, they executed, they wanted to win, and they fought for it. Good opponent, tough game, but again, team of champions. We are where we belong, at the pinnacle of Barbados football, both men and women.
Couldn't have said it any better. Well, Trevor Thorne, let's start with you. You're the numbers man. 0-0 at halftime before a defensive lapse proved costly. But did Ellerton look the part for this encounter?
Yes, good evening to you, Kurt. Good evening to you, Damien. Good evening to the rest of the crew as well. And of course, all of Barbados, the West Indies, and the world. The Ellerton team, you'd have to check their statistics to show that in their last 9 matches, they had 2 defeats. Wharton beat them 1-0, and they also lost to Bridens Hill. Both teams that were in the upper half of the table, but not necessarily full title contenders. Ellerton themselves would have been showing some shyness when they came up against Wharton. Wharton thrashed them 3-1, showing that they can be beaten even in the latter stages of the tournament. That was round number 14. And in round number 19 as well, Bridens Hill also took points from them as well. They then went on a winning streak, 3 victories on the trot, beating Empire 5-1, also beating the BDS Sports Program 3-0, and they warmed up against the UWI Blackbirds with the 2-1 victory as well. So they were in not necessarily the full rich vein of form. However, Wales were in a rich vein of form. Within their last 6 matches, 6 victories on the trot against Bridens Hill, St Andrew Lanes, Empire. They also hammered the BDS Sports Program 8-4. And the Sunday just before it, Shaquille Boyce warmed up with his first goal of that evening on 19 minutes, followed by Sharon Hoyt and Andre Applewhite. So why not be the favourites? They showed that in the first half they had slightly more possession and created a few more chances than Everton. And not that the writing was on the wall. Everton did have their chances, but I found tactically they didn't necessarily use Shaquille Bell the best way, and he was wanted. Nothing much going on in the first half for him, and similarly ending the second half with really not getting very many shots on target. So the edge went to Wales. They took that edge, and they also then turned that into a victory when Boyce and company went on the attack. You found a midfield player who's an attacking midfielder going in for a tackle, and that is Rashawn Braffett, wearing the number 8 for Everton. And he mistimed his challenge, and the decision of the referee is always final. Right. Boyce picked up the ball and slammed it into the back of the nets, and Wales held on for the victory as well.
We're going to bring Ronaldo in here. Ronaldo, as you heard Trevor break it down there, Everton have been knocking at the doorstep for a couple of seasons now, but they couldn't crack the code last night. From a managerial standpoint and a coach, what are the areas you felt as if you would have made some adjustments?
It just seems that Everton can't seem to get over Wales. That was the third consecutive defeat in the final, as we know, and each time losing 1-0. So straight off the bat, you would say that they need to first of all stop Wales from scoring. They do have a very organized type of organized and I would say experienced type of defense. The next part, then, if they continue to be losing or if they continue to be defeated 1-0, it would say that there must be some kind of work be done offensively. They include the likes of Rashad Jules this season, and he has definitely paid dividends with his transfer fee. But just so happened on the night that it didn't really seem to penetrate the Wales goal. I thought that they would have paid a bit more attention and play a couple more crosses in, because as you saw in the highlights when Amar was alluding to, where pretty much meant to take the cross and then he fell. He was injured then, and that happened just around the 70th minute. So perhaps they could have tried to play a bit more crosses in, which would have forced Primus to come off his line. And obviously, being conscious of the fact that he's injured his ankle, he'll be a little bit more reserved and coming to take those balls. But I think that Rashawn Braffett, the one who gave away the penalty, he has been one of the outstanding players for Everton for a number of years. But I think he needs to be a bit more effective higher at the pitch, perhaps receiving the ball in the middle third a bit more frequently than in the defensive third, where he's often seen initiating that attack on multiple quarterback. But you have competent centre backs who can handle the ball in Ramel Burgess and Shane Codrington, perhaps pushing a bit higher at the field where they could be the ones receiving the ball where he does, and he could then affect the game a bit more offensively in those areas, because he also has young Rashawn Gittings, who can handle the ball in the attacking midfield. Then there's they call him rap, but his name is Shaquan Collymore, right? He can also receive the ball a little higher at the field as well. So I just think they need to be a bit more, I would say, ambitious in that middle to attacking third.
Yeah, I know Air Sealy is not with us tonight, but he alluded to something, before this show. He was talking about the mental game, and you have to go into it thinking that you're going to win. I'm not sure if when we get to finals, you feel as if you're the second best team on the pitch, if that really pays dividends. But the man of the moment, Margaret Boyce, who was doing commentary, he was on, painting the pictures for the number of the fans there who couldn't make it down to the turf. But Ammar, what was the atmosphere like? And secondly, a little analysis of the result.
Yeah, thank you so much, Damien, and thank you so much for the panelists. The atmosphere at the Willie Turf last night was electrifying. Thousands of fans coming out to see what has grown to be a very recent rivalry, Weymouth Wales versus Everton. It was the third straight time in the knockout tournament that these teams have met, and as Pee Wee alluded to before, Weymouth Wales coming away 1-0 winners back in 2019 for the Capella Cup, and then 2022 last year for the Republic Cup as well. My analysis of the game is that I thought that Weymouth Wales, they started very confident. It was a bit of a cagey opening between both sides. I thought that Everton in my opinion, they did not attack the Weymouth Wales goals as much as I would have liked to see them. The likes of Shaquille Bell, Rashad Jules, I'd like to see those players a bit more efficient. I must give credit, though, to Romario Drates, especially in those 1v1s opportunity. If there's one player from the Ellerton team who looked likely to make something happen, it was young Drates. Kudos as well to Jaheim Headley. I was a bit surprised, though, in terms of Ellerton and the tactics. They opted to leave out Chapon Collymore. He is a defensive midfielder, so I thought that perhaps Collymore would have been able to get a play. What I was also surprised with to Ellerton, they went one goal behind and they only went ahead to make one substitution. I thought that was Anson Barrow in for Clark. So I was a bit disappointed in terms of the substitutions and how Ellerton would have shaped up. Weymouth Wales, on the other hand, they were, like as I mentioned, full of confidence. And once Weymouth Wales got the lead, I think they showed experience to keep the lead and to come out victorious.
Yeah, definitely kudos to Weymouth Wales. Don't forget, we also had a third place matchup. UWE Blackbirds defeating Britain Still 3-1 in that encounter. So Blackbirds still have a little bit of bragging rights to end the Champions Cup competition. So we leave it there. Weymouth Wales, congratulations to both the women's and men's squad. They've taken all the trophies this season, all the hardware, all the money. Congratulations once again. We look forward to 2024. Well, we're going to slip right into what's happening at the moment in the month of August. We had a number of national teams locked in battle over the last few weeks. And first up, Anmar, the girls under 14 Challenge Series was a great learning curve for the young national players. Plenty of positives. We get to Ronaldo in just a moment. He was the coach of the under 15 squad. But bring us up to date what's happening national-wise.
Yes, you mentioned the under 14 girls. I want to give a special mention to the girls and the coach Fitzgerald Carter. I would have watched these girls go through their paces at the Woody Turf, and I can tell you that it's a very improved squad. I'm very proud. I'm very pleased with the results that I would have seen. Getting a 1-1 draw versus Antigua, and they actually won the first game 2-0 as well. So I want to say congratulations to the Barbados under 14 girls national team. We're definitely seeing the hard work pay off. I can tell you that it has been a long journey for these girls. It was a developmental competition for them, and we can definitely see that they've improved. They've scored goals, which is always lovely to see. So I think that there's a bright future ahead for the under 14 girls. I want to give congratulations as well to Ronaldo Gilles. He's on the panel with us. The under 15 boys for doing well in their competition as well. At the final stage. So I think overall, it goes to show that junior football in Barbados is on the right path, and we can only hope that greater things are on the horizon for the future, Damien.
Yeah, definitely I echo that sentiment. Let's go over to Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you were in charge of the under 15 squad. I mean, how do we match up against some of the other teams? I know you made it to the quarterfinal, which is great, finishing second in Group F. Talk to me about it.
The quality of football within the region is definitely improving. I would say that our boys made good strides from last year's under 14 in CFU. To be honest, I think even though it was basically almost a year ago, I think that the experience of the CFU under 14 competition served us well. International competition or international games often serve you well when you're going into a tournament, because football is a lot about conditioning, and not just physically but cognitively as well. And I believe that the boys gave a very good showing. They're a smart group of boys. They're very intelligent, and what stands out for me most about them is their patriotism. They're a group of boys who always talk. Whenever you hear them speak, they always talk about doing well for the country, how well they want the country to do, how far they want the country to go. And coming out of our performances in Curacao, there has been some interest for a couple of the players already, particularly of schools within Jamaica. As you know, Jamaica high school football is a big thing, and I guess there's a bit of information that I didn't know before, so I'm sharing it with those who are watching, is that some schools do offer what we consider scholarships to athletes who they believe are good enough. So I'm currently in discussion with a couple of schools regarding some of the boys, and Don't blink too quickly because you might miss some of them within the next couple of weeks.
That's fantastic news, Ronaldo. We always want the players to get out, get exposure, play against tougher opposition. That's the only way you get better. And I know Anmar has been tracking one of the star players overseas who just made a major transfer. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But your chance to join in here if you want to via WhatsApp 228-5562. You can send on your thoughts. Of course, we've got the English Premier League season just started. We're into match day 3, heading into 4. Yeah, into match day 4. And we also had a success there for the Women's World Cup. Congratulations to Spain captain Olga Carmona scoring the only goal. Spain beating England 1-0 to win the Women's World Cup in Sydney, Australia. Trevor Thorne was tracking all of that. Spain win it, coming out on top. Disappointment for the English ladies. What do you thought about the final 1-0 result?
Yeah, that was a really good game, though, gentlemen and viewers. If you check where the two teams came from, you'd realize that from my angle and from where I sat, it certainly looks as though Spain had, let's say, the harder journey with the more established teams, the likes of, they came across the likes of, let's say, the Netherlands, which is one of the top teams in women's football. Also had to beat Sweden along the way to get to the finals. And England, however, would have come across, let's say, the likes of Nigeria, Jamaica, and Colombia as well. So you can see that Spain totally deserved it based on the way in which they handled the opposition, higher caliber opposition than perhaps what England had. England being a team that would have already won the title just a few months ago, and we're looking really good to take this one as well. But Spain had the class to outpass them, and of course they would have had the finishers as well to take that one 1-0. So congratulations to Spain's team, the women's team, for their championship this time. And England will obviously rebuild, and they do have some good youngsters coming through, the likes of James and so on, and therefore they will come back and bounce right back again for the next set of competition. So very good tournament in all, I would have to say, Damien. But of course, congratulations really goes to Spain on this occasion. Excellent performance, all-around performance from the Spanish team. Yeah,
there was some level of controversy in that Spanish camp as well, but they prevailed in the end. Congratulations to Spain, as you mentioned before. We've got a fast-moving program, so we're going to continue to fill in all the blanks with what happened in August. We got the English Premier League, as I mentioned before. We just saw someone put that Manchester United. I'm going to get back to that in just a moment. I know Amar be itching to answer that one. But, you know, we had a great come-from-behind win over the weekend for Liverpool over Newcastle. And that was one of the interesting viewing points over the weekend that I wanted to see. And Liverpool, Darwin Núñez coming out with the goals for them. Just taking a look at how the action transpired. Strike, and the thing for me to bounce back, Liverpool down to 10 men and having to put in the hard yards, that was fantastic to see. And this is when Virgil van Dijk was sent off here for what the referee deemed as a reckless challenge. So at that point, you were thinking, well, Newcastle probably had the edge there, but let me tell you, the Uruguayan was on target. We spoke a lot about him during the World Cup show this year, and we had a good set of laughs about it in terms of the performances. And now looking at the way that the Liverpool squad has performed so far, do you think that they have what it takes to go all the way? Ronaldo, you look at what you've seen so far with 3 match days. Liverpool is there. United not looking so hot. And we always know that Newcastle was a bright spark.
I really enjoyed the game on Saturday, to be honest. And I think Eddie Howe is yet to defeat Jurgen Klopp. No matter what club he's been at, to win, to come from behind with 10 players is more testament to the character of the team and also the caliber of the players. And I think that it was a strike of genius by Klopp by introducing Núñez when he did. And if you realize where he scored from, he scored in almost identical positions. So I guess it's something that Klopp would have thought long and hard about in terms of his introduction and the instructions he would have given. I would say Liverpool is a bit lucky because Trent could have been sent off in the first half. We all know that he got an early yellow card, and then he got a bit of one when he tugged the shirt of Gordon. And he could have been expelled there, so they could have been down to 9 men. Van Dijk, a lot of people thought that it would have been, that was harsh for the foul, but when you look at the replay, and I guess that's a credit to VAR, that he did prevent, and he was the last defender incident, but he did prevent Isak from going a bit further, and the referee made the correct decision. But I think that Liverpool is only 3 games, and it's up people not to panic. If you remember last season, and the season before, I think last season in particular, Man City were outside the top 4, and we all know what they did at the end. So early days yet. If I was to give any kind of forecast, I would believe that Newcastle and Liverpool, they both have enough quality to remain in the top 4. Man City, as always, should be in there. Man U, I think it will be a tug of war, but I honestly believe that Chelsea will reemerge as a force within the top 4. Not having any kind of European football to play will work in their favor, so I believe Chelsea could make it back within the top 4. So I think it will be a real tug of war within the top 5, and Tottenham as well, because rumor has it that Ansu Fati from Barcelona could be making his entry into London sooner rather than later.
Well, that would be an interesting signing. Ansu Fati having a decent time at Barcelona, but not living up to all the hype, I think, at Barca. We'll wait and see what English football may have in store for him. Anmar, you've been holding on by a fingernail for the last couple of seasons. You've been crying you want changes at the top. You've got a ton of players. Manchester United beating Nottingham Forest over the weekend, early days, but I'm not seeing that spark, that sparkle coming from Old Trafford. What's happening?
Yeah, well, you have to give credit to the boys coming back from 2 goals down. Damien, I think it shows a bit of resilience from Eric Ten Hag's Reds. It has not been all that glitters as goal for Manchester United. Obviously, they did win the first game 1-0 over Wolverhampton, and then they went on to lose 2-0 to Tottenham in what was a very disastrous performance, in my opinion. Yes, the goal scoreline will not reflect that, only losing by 2-0. But if you look at the performance and the style of play, definitely something that Manchester United fans were not happy about. Coming back, playing against Nottingham Forest, going 2 goals down, I think it's a situation where it sums up what type of season it will be for Manchester United. A lot of defensive woes, in my opinion. But you have to give credit to, Bruno Fernandes leading. He is the captain, leading from the front, and really rallying the boys to get back into the game and to get the 3 points. But I think it's a season where Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United will be lucky so far to come 3rd or 4th.
Well, we're going to answer this question. I don't know if Pee Wee or Trevor can answer. Who has had the most successful transfer market so far this season? I am tempted to say Al Hilal over in Saudi Arabia, but I'm not sure. You guys can fill in the blanks here. Trevor?
Well, I'd have to say that, what I'm seeing from Chelsea, the way in which they operate, where they've been able to clear out the whole house, basically, and come back with a what looks like a relatively young team, but still very strong. And didn't expect that from them. I didn't think the chemistry would be actually there. But at this stage, I got to give kudos to Chelsea for at least, let's say, 1 victory, 1 draw, and they've only lost 1 match. They're sitting at mid-table now, and the team does look like a team that has the potential to end much higher than where they are right now. The others, yes, we've had transfers in and out. Man City looks like the one that's going to be doing perhaps the smartest moves there is, because they also surprisingly released a couple of their players which we thought that might remain.
Right.
And they've still been able to remain strong, and at this point in time, top of the table, suggests that they're going to be a real threat to this particular season as well, and will probably win it if they do not come, say, let's say, second by a slip up or 2. But that's it for me, though. I think it is that the Chelsea is a real big surprise, where so many players were moved, but yet the squad remains one that is in touch with the top teams and still playing a nice brand of football as well.
Well, we've got another question here. How will the Arab League affect the three major leagues in the future as they attract major talent with huge sums of money? I wonder if we can put on some football boots because the money being thrown around. I want to head to Saudi Arabia at least for a couple of those millions. Ronaldo, quickly before we get to our player of the month. Arab leagues, spending money and getting players.
Being a professional athlete is a job just like any other occupation, you know. And I mean, if we were to ask anyone, would you go to another company who are offering you 4 times as much money with half as less work or half as less stress? We would do, and I'm sure that they would take that opportunity. The Saudi League will serve its purpose. Ronaldo did say when he went in January that it will attract more star players, and so said, so done. I believe the Saudi Pro League will have its place. Traditionally, and they're looking at it from the Club World Cup perspective, traditionally we've always had a European team versus a South American team.
Right.
Perhaps this will shake up the dynamics a little bit and have a team from outside of those two continents being placed within the Club World Cup final and perhaps even winning it. And if it's just 30 seconds, just 30 seconds when you ask about who's done the best transfer business, in my opinion, West Ham. West Ham got 116 million for Declan Rice, who was an integral part of their squad last season, which won the Conference League. And they spent it on 3 midfielders who could definitely impact the Premier League. They got James Ward-Prowse, they got Alvarez, and they just got Kudus from Ajax yesterday. Right. They rebuilt the team with 3 midfielders, a central midfielder, a defensive midfielder, and an attacking midfielder. So, in my opinion, West Ham has done the best transfer business.
Right, they're yet to get Damien Best in the midfield, hoping that somebody calls. Well, time now for our Matchday Live goal of the month. It has to be last night's penalty to give Wales the title.
Ball on the far side. This could be dangerous. Ball is into the box. Shoved away. That's a penalty. Shaquille Stewart, and he's brought down by Raffit. You cannot believe it. Shaquille boy stands over the penalty for Wales. It's a big chance in the game. Boyce scores for Wales! Wales take the lead on the night. Shaquille Boyce is the man. He's the man for the moment. Runs all the way to the fans.
Definitely our goal of the month. Congrats once again to Weymouth Wales. We can't say enough. Both women and men's squads cleaning up all the titles this season. We just got enough time to probably look ahead. Don't forget, folks, starting next month, we're going to have Nations League action. Barbados has 2 vital encounters. They want to kick-start the Nations League on a positive note, but I'm going to give one last shout-out to Anmar, who's going to fill us in on Thierry Gill, who made a nice little transfer. We were talking about transfers all along. We got to big up the local lad.
Yeah, Damien. Well, what I can tell you, it's been interesting in terms of the transfer market for the last couple of hours, especially for Barbadian football fans. I can confirm that Thierry Gill, he's on the verge of his biggest transfer to date since he became a professional player. He has arrived in Austria early this morning to complete a move to Rapid Wien. This is one of the biggest clubs, one of the most successful clubs in Austria. His transfer fee, he moves from Georgia to Austria for 700,000 euros plus 100,000 add-ons. So in total, his transfer fee in Barbados is $1.7 million. And I think it makes him the most expensive Barbadian-born footballer to ever play. Now remember, when Lalu Goodridge, when he went to Queen's Park Rangers, his transfer fee was in the region of 900,000 Barbados dollars. Well, Thierry Gill's transfer fee will be bigger than that, and I can tell you that tomorrow he's expected to, be unveiled as a Rapid Wien player. He completed his medical, and tomorrow will be a big day for Barbadian fans. And Thierry Gill, he's about to sign on the dotted line with what will be his biggest deal.
Thank you so much, Anmar, for ending your show on such a high. Congratulations to Thierry Gill. We wish him all the very best. All the footballers out there trying their best to make it on the international scene. We continue to track your success. Well, that's been a quick show. Good night to all the viewers, all our crew. Thanks so much to our panelists. God willing, we'll see you on September 25th and review Barbados' first matches of the CONCACAF Nations League Group B against Montserrat and Nicaragua. Good night on behalf of the entire crew. See you once again next month.